Hey guys, it's Izu here, and this is my first time making a video, so I apologize in advance if I sound very nervous, or I'm generally just not doing a good job of explaining. But anyways, with that out of the way, before I get started, I would like to apologize for the quality of the video if it's not that good, because I ended up compressing the video to give my laptop more space since my laptop isn't very good, and it just kind of made the quality of the video kind of wacky, so I'm sorry for that. But today's video is my opinion on fixing art, and to be honest, I really do not like the term fixing when it comes to art, because it just feels really disrespectful, stuff like that. But at the same time, I do not mind if someone wants to make their own version of a character. Like, change them up, stuff like that. But, of course, there are always going to be exceptions. There's going to be harmful ways of doing this. Generally, I think using the term fixing art is harmful to other artists. Maybe not, like, big companies. Not as much. But if you're fixing another small artist's art, it's obviously going to impact them a lot more than it's going to a company. So just be careful if you're going to be doing that. But people's attitudes on fixing art is the main problem, I think, and using that kind of language to just try and get your point across. So what I mean by that is people on Twitter and stuff are like, "Oh, look at this, I fixed your shitty art. Isn't that great?" And I don't think that's a very good way of going about it, because honestly, I think that's really disrespectful, and it is really disrespectful actually, because it's doing more harm than good. But at the same time, if you want to be able to make your own version of a character, then you should have all the ability in the world to do so. Because, well, no one's stopping you. If you want to make your own version, then that's completely fine. Making your own, like, alternate universe version, like your own AU version, that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. But, like I said, there are exceptions, and there's exceptions to everything, really. But I'll get into that in just a second. Well, I think that, sorry, but I think that, fixing art is not the best way to word it. If you're gonna do that, then at least word it differently, in my opinion. But there are exceptions, like I said, if it's like a racist caricature, or it's generally harming one person. Well, not one person maybe, but if it's harming a group of people, like targeting a race or a religion, then I think it'd be alright to fix that, because that's just wrong to make anything that targets that specific group. But with this comes a lot of rules, I guess. I wouldn't really say rules, I just don't know how else to explain it. But my opinion on changing the skin tone and body type of the character is a bit different for each subject. And that's the most common way people fix art from what I see. They change the skin tone and body type. And I generally don't see anything wrong with that, especially with body type, because I see it as headcanoning, like similar to headcanoning sexualities or gender expression on characters, and I do that a lot. And I personally don't really have body type headcanons, but I know it makes a lot of people feel a lot better about their own body types by implementing them onto their favorite characters, just like it does with sexuality and gender identity. But with skin tone, it's a little bit different, because while I think wanting to relate to a character with your skin tone is alright, there are precautions that have to be taken, like I think that it is perfectly okay to change a white person's skin color, like not a real person, I just mean like a fictional character. If they are white, that it's perfectly fine to change their skin color into a darker skin tone, because white people will always have the most representation, and that's a sad fact, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with white people just being white people, of course not, but I think that the issue is lack of representation in media for black people and Asian people and any other culture out there, because in the media, white people are dominant, and that's kind of sad, in my opinion, because I love seeing different kinds of people. I love seeing different kinds of body types. I love seeing different kinds of skin tones. I love seeing different kinds of races. I love seeing different kinds of cultures and stuff like that too. But unfortunately, there's not much of that in the media, so people, especially black people who don't have much representation to begin with, they like changing the skin tones of characters to suit their needs, and I don't think anyone who isn't black should have a say on that, because, well, obviously they're not having as much representation as anyone else, so it's not really fair for white people to get an opinion on it, right? And I'm not white. I'm 3/4 white, but I'm mixed. I'm Asian American. I'm Japanese and Korean. And that's my culture because, well, I guess not my culture, but my grandma, she was from Japan, lived in Korea, and she brought a bunch of that kind of stuff from Japan and Korea, and I own it all, and I kind of grew up around that stuff, so I think it's a big part of me too. So, while I was born in America and I was born and raised here, it's a lot different for me, I think, because of my family and how I was around my grandma until she was no longer here. So, but anyways, getting back on topic. Yeah. One thing I don't think we should do is change the skin tone of Asian characters, because while they do have more representation than, say, like, black people, it's still a bit strange to do that, in my opinion, and I don't know if I get much of an opinion on it because I'm not completely Asian, but I know I have seen a lot of Japanese, Korean people get really upset over changing the skin tone of their characters because they want representation too, and I think that's perfectly fine to get upset over, but I don't think white people really have the right to get as upset over it, like, at all, because of all of the representation that they have. At the same time, though, I think black people should really do what makes them happy. I think anyone should do what makes them happy. But it's just, this is a weird topic to talk about because people have so many different opinions on it, and, you know, it's just weird. But like I said before, making your own AU version is totally fine. It doesn't matter at all. Just don't go around posting it everywhere, being all cocky, saying like, oh, I fixed your art, here I fixed your art. Don't do that. It's really rude to whoever the artist is. It's really disrespectful. Like I said, there are exceptions if it's racist, if it's harmful to a group of people, stuff like that. But overall, I don't think there's any reason to say, oh, I fixed it. Not use that word, I mean. But if you want to redesign a character, or make their body type different, stuff like that, then I think that's completely fine if you're saying it's your own version that you made, that you redesigned for fun, not to just get back at whoever made the character just because that character is, say, like, white or something. Like I said, I'm completely fine with changing the skin tone of a white character, but I wouldn't necessarily say fixing it is the right idea, because that's just it's not really, I don't really know. It's really not helping people in any sort of way at all. But in my opinion, it's just ridiculous. Like, a lot of this drama is ridiculous because I can totally understand Black people getting really upset at someone whitewashing a Black character in media, because obviously Black people do not have the amount of representation that white people have, and they don't even have the amount of representation that Asian people have, and it's really difficult for them to find characters to relate to. And when I know a lot of people who, when they find that character they relate to, they're really, really happy and they attach themselves to that character, and I do that too. It's just like, don't whitewash a Black person, because that's just wrong. That's racist, in my opinion. And the reason it's not racist for the other way around is because, well, white people, they've always had all this privilege. They've never gone through the extremes that Black people have. And it's gotten better today, but there are still a lot of racist people. Not towards just Black people either. They just have it the worst, is the thing. And I feel really bad about that. But like I said, I don't think we should get an opinion unless you are Black, really. So, I don't know. This is just a weird topic to cover, and I wasn't really sure what to cover for my first video idea, so I just kind of did this. Maybe in the future I'll have better ideas on what to do instead of just drama in the art community things, stuff like that. But, overall, I think people should be allowed to do what they want with art, and there's not really a problem with that. But, like I said, with all the exceptions and stuff, but I think the best thing to do, rather than changing actual media, of course you can, I'm not saying there's anything wrong about that, but I think the best thing to do would be to encourage media to create more people of color, stuff like that, or create your own people of color characters, rather than change an already existing character. But people have their own preferences, and like I said, people get attached to certain characters, and it's not a problem at all. But you can relate to a character, that's okay. But overall, the fixing art drama is really dumb, in my opinion. It's just, I don't like seeing people say they fixed another person's art. That's really my biggest issue. And, like, I don't really know. It's just difficult to explain. I guess I got most of what I wanted to say out, though, and I'm running kind of low on time here because my speed paint's only 15 minutes long. So, I don't really know, but, well, sorry. I guess if you're going to do what you want to a character, then it's fine, but just know your limits, know the difference between right and wrong when it comes to changing a part about a character. Don't just say, I made your character normal, or I fixed your character to look normal, and then change the body type or something, because that's wrong. There are body types of all kinds. People shouldn't feel bad about their own body type just because someone else wants to push their body type onto theirs, you know? But there's nothing wrong with any kind of body type. Anyways, I'm almost out of time, so, I guess I'm gonna be making more content in the future, so like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to keep up with my videos. I will be trying to post as much as I can, stuff like that, but I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, so Anyways, goodbye guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!